Mitt navn David, og min største lidenskap musikk. Jeg rapper, DJ, beatmaker og saksofonist. Jeg ble født med en øyesykdom som gjør at jeg kun har 5% synsfelt igjen. Musikk rett og slett min kilde til mestringsfølelse da. Det jo så klart ting som jeg ikke kan ta del i på grunn av synshemmingen av rent praktiske grunner. Så musikken føler jeg min sånn grenseløse egenskap da, der jeg kan prestere på samme nivå som andre. Omverdenen forstår meg bedre, fordi ofte blir jeg misforstått på grunn av synshemmingen min. Jeg klarer egentlig mye mer enn det folk tror, og gjennom musikken så det så godt å bare kunne flashe litt skills egentlig. I was born in Germany in 1996 and I moved to Norway when I was 5 years old, or my family moved to Norway when I was 5 years old. My dad got a job at a hospital here in Norway, so he's a doctor. And then we were living in a small town in the south of Norway called Flekkefjord. So there I grew up, and I think music is my vehicle of expression, and I am an artist. A musical artist, yes, you could say. She has me blinded by her beauty like a shooting star. Now I'm blinded and I'm used to on the regular. She sets a record for perfection and I testify. Now that's the game I can't sweat, but it gets me by. It's fun, just the guy who's doing it mine. Not so fun, I'm on the studio list for every day.
We're talking about using 2 words for music, describing music.
In 2 words, damn, that's a hard one, you know, because their music is almost like pictures, you know. One picture can say more than 1,000 words, so how can you describe it with like 2 words? I think it's about crazy expression, you know, because when you're making music and the way people make music sometimes can be crazy, you know. You sit somewhere, you sit on the toilet and you grab your phone and you just record some idea, or you just fucking, like when I make music, I just listen to records all day and I find samples on the records and I play them backwards, I pitch them up and down, I go crazy with it, but I end up expressing myself. And I think to make music, you have to be crazy enough to dare to try out things. And I mean, it's of course you always start out imitating something, imitating a sound and figuring out how that sound is made. For example, like by getting a certain guitar tone, saxophone tone, or like I've been like scouring YouTube for videos on how to do that, how to do the turntablism thing and stuff. But then it's about going on your own journey and using those tools to go crazy yourself. And it's hard to put any instructions to it. It just happens at some point. Sometimes I write a song during, like, when I'm super stressed out, actually when I'm like in the middle of some exam period, and suddenly I just figure out like, damn, I have this idea, and I just sit down and I write it. And sometimes I just make a beat, or I make 8 bars of a beat, and then some months later I find the idea, and it inspires me again, and I go back at it with another mindset.
You and music. How did you become one and connected?
Being born with a disease called retinitis pigmentosa, which leaves me with a field of vision of about 3%, in which I have a quality of vision of about 5%. And that means I have very severe tunnel vision. And so when I was a kid, music was kind of this activity I could do where there was no limitation to if I was going to master it or not. For instance, playing football or other kind of sports where you have to use your vision to follow some kind of ball, or you have to interact, you have to work together in a team to do some kind of stuff, and you have to look at each other, and those things, there are always limitations, you know. I couldn't do that, and there was no way I was gonna master those things the same way that others could. And how could I, as a young boy, you know, competitive, starting to get into my teens, and you know, I wanted to be someone, you know, I wanted to be good at something, and I just wanted to express myself. And music was kind of this thing though, where first it was just my mom used to just send me to piano lessons and stuff, and in the beginning it you know, I got kind of fed up with it, as any young boy would, where the parents think music is the thing you should learn, and you don't find anything appealing with it until you discover the means of self-expression.
Days for bigger paychecks. They buy paying bills, I buy showing skills, letting people know where I'm at and what I feel. So rappers, DJs, and beat makers, writers, OGs, and breakdancers, keep it just while your heart is at. Nowhere to far from that soul where it started at. That's what's real. See, all of those that do it can't find it.
To get back to the question of how music and me became one, I think it's the expression, the element of expression, and not just in rapping, but also in the whole hip hop, in the culture. The late great KRS-One, who is a rapper I have always looked up to, he used to define hip hop as intelligent movement. You know, hip is to know. It's a form of intelligence. To be hip is to be updated and relevant. Hop is a form of movement. You can't just observe a hop. You gotta hop up and do it. You know? So hip and hop is intelligent movement. And that's and that quote and those lyrics, they just, you know, they changed my life for what it is today.
What do you mean? How do they change your life?
I wanted to be somebody, you know. I was young, I was a teenager, and for me to delve into this culture of hip-hop was the thing, you know. It was amazing, the music behind it, but I kind of opened my eyes towards how you can use creativity, and how creativity can become a lifestyle.
Sometimes it was the opposite. I don't know, man, whatever. I'm here set to conquer it, raise my head and move on with it. I gotta focus on the good to make good better, they say. So every day I focus on writing these letters to say what's on my mind. Makes a new beat, practice saxophone lines or turntable styles.
I was never great on the break dancing and the graffiti part of it, but the rapping and the DJing, that's what I, you know, delved super into and got into, because I got into it with my ears. So that's where it started. I got into turntablism and scratching and rapping and all of that, and producing, and yeah, that's just a creative outlet.
white boy with origins from Germany,
Yeah.
moving to Norway,
Yeah.
and then moving to north or middle of Norway. Why do you connect to that genre of music?
I think hip hop it's a rebel culture, right? It was this flower through the pavement thing, right? There's a lot of like resistance, but you move on, you go through it, or you find something that makes you that you want to express, you want to get creative. And for me, being both coming to another country, coming to Norway, and being visually impaired has always meant not an easy way into being socially accepted. You know, there is always this language barrier, and there is the whole thing about if you're visually impaired, you're kind of in this zone in between being blind and being sighted. And my point here is just the misunderstanding of it. Maybe the lines from hip hop, the history of hip hop to like me, and why I maybe relate to it might be because I have also gone through a lot of being misunderstood. You always have to kind of rectify who you are. Like through my music, that's what I feel I can accomplish.